Tonight, a special great debate. Some of our planet's most majestic animals are getting closer to extinction each year. That is a fact. If I were to ask you how to save them, an idea that would probably not jump to mind is to allow them to be hunted for trophies. This Sunday marks the premiere of the CNN original film, Trophy. And in it, they argue that conservation and hunting may be closer than you think. Watch this sneak preview.
I've been a hunter my whole life. I lost my dad a few years ago, and he was a hunter. And I think that he would be really tickled to be able to tell the people back home at the coffee shop that his son is out hunting a lion.
The Safari Club International Show is the largest hunting convention in the planet.
Crocodiles are really mean. Besides that, I want a pair of boots.
Poachers will shoot every last one because there's a commercial-driven desire.
People are confused how hunting and conservation go together.
You can just pick whatever animal you want from the menu that they offer you, see the price, and book the kill.
Big cats at 21 and 22, sold!
And that money will all go back into conservation.
How much for that sucker?
35,000.
I have the recipe to save the rhino from extinction. Sell the horns, keep the rhinos alive. On the black market, the retail value of this horn would be $250,000. The operation is painless. It'll take 2 years before it goes through the same procedure again. All I need is for it to be legal. Give me one animal that's gone extinct while farmers were breeding it and making money out of it. There's not one.
All right, so the question is, does big game hunting help or hurt conservation? Here to debate it are hunter and sheep rancher Philip Glass and the CEO and General Counsel of Born Free USA, Prashant Ketan. It's good to have you both here, gentlemen. Mr. Glass, let's begin. What is your take and why?
My take is that hunting and conservation go together. We have a centuries-long track record of success from North America to South Africa to Central Asia. And everywhere that we're hunting and applying this commercial model, the animal numbers are actually increasing. It's the countries where you can't hunt where the tragic stories are being told, such as Kenya, who lost 80% of its wildlife over the years since the hunting ban was instituted.
Prashant, it is a bad image, but a reality that this money that comes into it winds up making the difference in conservation. Acceptable to you as a rationale?
So it is not, Chris. I think what the statistics really show is that less than 3% of the money that gets paid for the hunting that's done actually goes back into the community. The vast majority of that money is going into the outfits that are running the hunting, going into the government hands. They're really not going back into the community or for conservation of the species.
The money is a token. It is not of legitimate value. The numbers are pumped up. Fair criticism, Mr. Glass.
You know, Chris Moore was featured in the film. He's the anti-poaching leader in Zimbabwe where I hunted the lion. He was on television here in New York City a few months ago, and he stated that he and the community received fully 50% of my lion safari dollars. So the facts and figures that Mr. Ketan is putting out are just simply false. Some of us have actually been on the ground and actually know what we're talking about how this money is distributed to these people, and the meat as well.
Back up your theory about the numbers and the paucity of the profits going to actual conservation, Prashant.
So I think what we're talking about is that there might be one-off situations like what Mr. Glass is describing where, in fact, he can trace the money into going back to the community or a school. But we don't have to speculate. There have been studies done on this, and the studies are almost unanimous that a very low percent of the money that gets paid for trophy hunting is actually going back into the community. The numbers that I've seen are as low as 3%.
All right, so let's look at it a little differently. Even if the numbers are exaggerated, if there is any money that is attributing in some way to the numbers in these places where they have the trophy hunting being better than in other countries, why isn't that a good enough basis to allow the practice to continue as a trade-off?
So again, I would say that I don't think that's actually true. There are countries in which trophy hunting has been is allowed, and not just allowed, but that it's done quite rampantly, and poaching and other activities that were supposed to be reduced because of the money going into conservation are not happening. What we're actually seeing in some of those countries is that the amount of poaching is either increasing or staying the same. You're not seeing the money that is being paid for purposes of the hunts actually going to conserve the species.
Mr. Glass, we'll give you the final word and respond to this notion. For a lot of people who see Trophy this Sunday, it's not going to be about facts, it's going to be about feelings. And the idea that if these are such a precious resource and you don't need them for food anymore, why would we ever kill them? What do you say to those people?
It's simply about the numbers. It's simply about the population. The population of these animals before hunting became popular in South Africa in the 50s was about 1 million head of animals total. Now there's 26 million. The numbers don't lie. The numbers in these countries, the lion, I hunted in Zimbabwe. In 2016, the IUCN stated that the lion population in 2016 in Zimbabwe was increasing. So the countries we hunt, where our dollars are applied, the animal numbers are increasing. It's just a simple fact.
Well, here's what we know for sure. We need to do much better with many different species because the numbers, in too many cases, aren't going the way we want them to for the next generation and those to follow. Mr. Glass, Mr. Caton, thank you very much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The CNN film Trophy premieres this Sunday at 9 p.m.